Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Our Life. Last time I left you off after we arrived back in town to Sunset Bird, and we met with Cove, who apparently flew here earlier than us. Kind of a dick move. But he flew here early, and we're here in town for our mom's wedding. Wedding? No, what? Bitch, they're married. For our mom's anniversary dinner. So, let's get right back into it. And isn't he just looking so precious? He's looking almost a little, like a tiny bit, just a tiny bit mischievous here, isn't he? Just a little mischievous. I like it. I love it. I'm in love. Cove trailed behind you as you walked into the welcoming sun. He stopped closing his eyes to stretch his arms in the warm rays. Satisfied, Cove turned to you and carefully took your hand in his. The heat of that was better and more comforting than any ray of sunlight that could shine on you today. Stepping closer, you squeezed his hand, your mouth curved into a playful smile. Lucky for you, I needed help carrying that hand. Let's go. Or why did I say it in my regular voice? Let's go. Just have to at least try to make him a little masculine, you know? Naturally, you found yourself heading down the road towards the beach. Your spirits rose even higher as you strolled across the sand, heading for the shopping district. Arriving, you wove past tourists who were taking in the sights for the very first time. Being a local was a badge of honor you wore proudly. You casually walked past the shops. Over the years, some had closed down, but many of the stalls were still exactly the same as they were when you were little. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's so beautiful. There was something you planned on saying, but the look on Ko's face made you pause. You watched incredulously as Ko's attention laser focused on something in the peripheral. As the two of you went down the stone street, his gaze stayed parallel with what must have been a stationary object. Then, when his head couldn't turn any further, he stopped in place entirely. You were brought to a halt as well, since his fingers were still laced around yours. Never let go of this hand, Cove. Sticking your head out around his side, you were finally able to see that the subject of note that had captured his attention was a pretzel stand. Oh, you hungry? You hungry, Cove? Should I feed you now? Oh my god, he does want to be fed. Did you see how big he opened his eyes? He fucking did this, okay? Okay, he didn't do that. He didn't do that, but he did something, okay? He's begging, okay? I need to get out my begging strips. I need to get out my begging strips for Cove. Oh, mercy. Oh, how could you deny this face anything? Look at him. Oh my god. Precious. Precious. Oh god. God, the art in this game is just so beautiful, arousing. After a moment of silence, his puppy dog eyes swung back to your face. With a cheesy faux wistfulness, Cove whispered a few small words. That could have been us. It's a shame what might have been. No, Cove, it's not too late. Yeah, it's not too late. Why? Oh. He means start a pretzel stand. I thought he meant like that could have been us eating at the pretzel stand. Oh god. I don't know if we'd make a lot of money at the pretzel stand, love, had we won. Let's see. You're so precious. Oh, honey, that is the only words that would be coming off this mouth, okay? Because it's the truth, and it's head empty, just filled with Cove. That's it. Ugh. Thanks. You're welcome. But seriously, let's get going. Did you actually want to get a pretzel? Yeah. Enter. Yes, I do. The one that comes with the little frosting cup? That's right. You shared a fond smile with one another. It held a level of second-nature comfort that really didn't exist anywhere outside of the almost lifelong relationship between you and your former neighbor. Somehow all you ever had to do, was simply be together in the same place, and it was special. Cove showed you how strongly he felt the same when he started to become visibly bashful. He plucked up enough nerves to keep the conversation going, though. God, I should not have ate before this video. And it was so much spicy food, and then to top it off, some acidic citrus fruit. Oh, my stomach is a little burning. So hey, do you think they'd give me more than one of the frosting cups if I asked? Honey, we don't have 2 frosting cup money, okay? The music store isn't doing well. Everyone's buying their damn music on Spotify, or listening to it on Spotify. I don't know, Cove. We'll have to find out. I don't know, just it feels dramatic the way Joseph says that. I don't know. We'll have to find out. With that, you change your course to the pretzel stand for a snack break. Cove is very pleased with the morsel he picked up. That was good to see. We never learned what happened. Did he get his frosting cup? His extra? Hello? 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 Knock knock. Can you hear me? Developers, writers, you can't just, this is like an incomplete story, you can't do that. The sun arched across the sky as you went up and down the road as a pair. By the time you returned to the beach, day was beginning to fade into night. Cove's feet, Jesus. Oh, I'm not a foot person, as you all know, but man. I could get under his feet, though. He kicked off his shoes, tossing them into the sand. He wanted to get his feet wet in the waves as fast as possible. Honey, there are waves of saliva in my mouth, okay? And it's a lot warmer than the sea. What am I saying? How do I come up with this stuff? Oh my lord, I need to be committed. I'll join him. In seconds, you had your feet free and your shoes abandoned in the sand. You kept going until you were ankle deep in the water. Cove sighed contentedly. You followed his line of sight to the setting sun, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. It really feels like summer now. He wore a bent smile when he turned to you. The light illuminated like a halo behind him, and the sight took your breath away. Honey, he has taken my breath away every second of every minute of every hour of every day of every month, week, year, something, decade I spend with him, okay? I am suffocating with our love, okay? It's too much. There's too much love. I can't breathe. I need a little oxygen. In fact, it's hard to think of anything that feels more perfectly summer than moments exactly like this. Being here at Sunset, in Sunset Bird with you. I'm so glad we were able to come visit. I do like our living situation now over just being neighbors, but still. Agreeing with Cove, you made an okay sign with one hand. You felt your heart flutter in your chest. Your smile quickly stretched ear to ear. Alright, I'm happy too, of course. Would have ended up like this. This is a wonderful day. It's not so bad. You didn't have to say anything. Oh no. What should I say? Of course, sooner or later this would have happened. If I had to tie you up, rent some cabin in the woods, keep you there indefinitely, or if we get married, one way or another, we were gonna be together, Cove, okay? And I wasn't gonna let, you know, anyone stand in the way, even you, if you didn't want to be with me. I wasn't gonna be having that. You crossed your arms. Cove looked up from the sand, meeting your gaze with a bent smile. It's inevitable. Cove murmured quietly, losing himself in his thoughts again. Shortly after, you saw his hand shoot down into the sand. Jesus, my earphones keep falling out because I had to apply some cream inside my ears because I have eczema. Oh my god, do I have the worst eczema in the universe? That's just some info for you about me that you didn't want to know or need to. He stood straight back up with a lopsided smile and got to work brushing the sand off his prize. You knew without a single word Cove found a new shell for your collection. As you wandered down the beach, Cove followed at your side in comfortable silence. Your shadows stretched across the sand like they were leading the way. The only noise you could hear were the soft footfalls of your feet and the waves gently rocking into the shore. For a moment in time, it felt like there were only the two of you in your own little worlds. Eventually, the bubble popped when you realized that your phone was going off. It was Ma, hoping that you were going to be back soon. Curious, Cove's eyes slid down to your phone. You let your hand fall back down to your side. You held the phone pressed against the palm of your hand. It's Ma. She wants to know when we'll be there. Cove scratched the back of his neck and shook his head. His mouth twitched like he just had a funny thought. Dang, parents. Always trying to make us come home before it gets too dark. Oh, Cove. There's no escape from curfew. Parents are such a pain, it sucks you have to leave already. Yeah, there's no escape from curfew as long as we're in this neighborhood. It's like we warp back to being little kids the moment we set foot at the entrance sign. Oh god, you're much sexier now, Cove, I swear. Cove's nose crinkled in fake disgust, and you both burst into a fit of giggles. God, the things I would do to him if he was real. Oh my god. I would just fuck him right back in those bushes or those trees over there. Oh. Mom wouldn't be able to stop us. Or Ma. It'd be nice not to have to worry about bills again. Mm-hmm. Sometimes. Well, what am I talking about? Because if this was real, I'm not paying attention to the bills. Cove was the one doing all the work. I'm very selfish. After one last glance, you put your phone away again. Cove gave a small shrug. Ready? Yeah. Oops, I skipped a line. I would never, ever talk over you or skip your lines. Let's go. Together you left the beach, feeling the call of home pulling you forward. The both of you ran off towards your mom's house, leaving the waves behind, but welcoming the beginning of summer. Cove and you ran up from the beach, sand flying from your steps. Cove made it to the road first, but you managed to catch up to him by the time you reached the house. It wasn't exactly a race, and yet it also wasn't not a competition. Both of you were laughing by the time you bumbled through your old front door together. You inhaled deeply and shouted loud enough to be heard anywhere in the house. We're here! Your moms were seated in the living room. Their eyes sparkled as they locked on you and your light dusting of sand.
Hello.
Welcome home. Mom leaned forward, eyebrows raised at your jubilant entrance. Ma sighed wistfully.
Aww.
That brings back memories. Cove chuckled shyly as he scratched the back of his head. I hope we're not too late. Nope, you're just in time, but you better start packing it up. Liz will be waiting. I think that's a little better than I did last video. Ma nodded as she stood up from her seat. She lightly ran her fingers over her clothes to smooth out the wrinkles. It took you a second to remember where you had put your stuff. You needed to get it all in the car so you get everything back to your hotel. Can I help? You shrugged and directed him to your bags. With Cove, your mom's, and yourself on the job, it only took one trip to get everything to the car. Can these ladies... Are they still strong enough to be lifting up luggage? Cove firmly closed the trunk, and you thanked everyone for the assistance. Of course, kiddo. Come along, my family. Let's get in the car. She gave Cove a special look to make it clear that meant him. Cove climbed into the back seat with a decidedly touched expression on his face. You got in on the other side. When everyone was situated and buckled, the engine was started and Ma pulled out onto the street. God, I hope her night vision isn't fucked up since she's like 55 now, you know? You couldn't help but feel amused to be stuck in the back seat with Cove. Your mom's driving you around. It was really like you were little kids again. Cove caught you staring at him and gave you a bent smile. He was probably on the same wavelength as you from the sheer mischief in it. There was some light chatting on the drive. No one brought up anything too deep, and it mostly became swapping, joking stories. I did not read that right. The entire trip was marked by a heavy sense of anticipation. Everyone was ecstatic to see Liz and hear what she'd been up to. When you neared the airport, Mom pulled out her phone to call Liz. Ma followed the signs to the correct pickup area and asked for you to shout if you saw your sister. Where's this bitch gonna be in the car, okay? Honey, there's already 4 people in this damn car. Is she gonna be slipping between me and Cove? Because, not happening. Girl, you can sit in the trunk. I don't know what you're gonna do with your luggage. You can throw that away, because you need to be in the trunk. Yeah, Liz, we're at Wing B. There's a blue sign that says North America.
Alright.
Tell her that we're right in front of the building with the blue windows. She says that she's outside, right by a yellow truck. I see at least 3 yellow trucks. Bitch, no you don't. How are you seeing 3 yellow trucks? Where are you? What? Yellow? First of all, almost no cars are yellow, except taxis. Secondly, a yellow truck of all things. Like, maybe you'll see some motherfucker in a yellow sports car or something every once in a while. But a yellow truck? I don't think I've ever seen a yellow truck. I think they're doing work at the airport. The back and forth continued with Ma driving, even then, like a utility vehicle that's being used by maintenance crew? To be yellow? Maybe a very pale yellow. It's not like a strong yellow. With Ma driving around in the wide, circular airport roads while Mom attempted coordination between her and Liz's location. Aha! You leaned forward, peering out of the front car. A tall, poised silhouette pulled a pale purple roll along the suitcase behind her. It was definitely Liz. She waved to the car. Ma parked along the sidewalk next door and Mom put away her phone with a cheer. Mission accomplished, team. Ma excitedly reached over to grasp Mom's raised hand, thrilled that both of her kids were back.
Good job.
That's right. Liz came closer and yanked open the back door beside her. She popped her head into the car, her smile ornery despite how tired she appeared. It must have been a long trip for her, yet her expression was that same familiar smirk that you'd grown up with. Oh, what was I doing for her voice? Hello, children. No, that's not what I'm doing. I did not look at the damn video. I said I was gonna look at a damn video of me playing this game to hear the voices. I did not do it. Let me do it now. Alright, I looked it up. I wasn't really doing much of a voice. I'm never doing that much of a voice. Hello, children. I am back. I'll just try to remember that I have a little bit of attitude in the back of my head whenever I try to read her lines, you know? I think that's the only thing I was doing. I was just putting a little bit of stank on it. Alright, I'll just scream Liz. Joseph! You smiled at her, you reached across and hugged her, poked her. Oh, for a second I thought that said poked her chest, and I was just like, why am I poking my sister's boobs? Whatever, let's go for it. Let's get freaky. Her eyes watched your finger with confusion until you poked her. Her jaw dropped at your sheer audacity. Liz leaned back out of your reach and booped your nose before you regained your balance and pulled back. Well, hi to you too, kiddo. Hello, sweetie. It's so nice to see that you're here. Hi, Elizabeth. He jokingly huffed at her. We're not children. Whatever you say, baby boy. She turned her gaze back to Mom and Ma. You really know how to make someone feel appreciated. Her spirits were high. You could tell she was just as happy to be here as everyone was to see her. She left the door open. My God, I'm choking. Oh Lord, I don't know what I was choking on, but Jesus Christ. She left the door open, but ducked out to walk around to the back of the car. She opened the trunk and lifted her luggage in. I'm gonna move your junk, Joseph. I'll keep it in front of my bag so you can get it later. Ma's dropping you off first, right? Yes, but that's not junk, it's important. Liz slammed the trunk closed without responding. Liz swung around to the open door. You noticed that her hair had a few flyaways. No doubt from a long day of traveling. Oh, like just messy hair strands? I've never heard it described a flyaway. She leaned against the frame of the car, giving you and Cove a significant look. I am not sitting in the middle. Yeah, honey, get in the trunk. We already had a little discussion about this when you weren't here. I already had 5 hours of that nightmare on the flight. There's no way I'm getting in between the two of you. Just 5 hours of sitting in the middle. Oh God, the torture of being on like an intercontinental flight stuck in the middle. Oh my God, the hell that is. Especially when the people next to you smell. Oh God. I won't get into it. With that being said, Cove smells amazing. You should be so lucky to sit next to him. I mean, really, who would ever want to be the person pulling Cove Holden and Joseph Tsubasa apart? Well, she has a point. So get your ass in the trunk. I don't know, sit on Ma's lap or something. I don't care what you do. Cove puffed up indignantly yet again at her classic tease of your relationship. Liz continued along like she didn't notice. I don't care how you decide who's scooting. I figure you can fight it out somehow. Cove glanced over at you and shrugged. He unbuckled his seatbelt and moved to the middle. Oh, Cove. You little Care Bear, you. Let's see. Good job, I wasn't moving. Yeah, bitch, I don't want to be in the middle. It's not cute. Liz snorted and reached around Cove to offer you a high five. Nice, hold your ground. Cove shook his head but didn't object. He knew your thoughts on the middle seat. With the window seat open, Liz squished herself into the car and shut the door. With everyone, or when everyone was settled, Ma began to pull out.
Let's go.
We're off! Liz crossed her legs, compacting herself slightly. She braced most of her weight on the door behind her instead of sitting up straight. It gave her a little more room. Hopefully we finish the journey. This car is almost as old as we are. I mean, it looks nice from the inside. What is this, 2040? Like, seriously, when did this game start? 2020-ish? Somewhere around there? I don't know. I have no idea. Or did it start like in the 2000s? I'm not sure. It's a fine looking car though. I think you're just being a bitch. And it's still just as good as you are. All the complaining definitely means Liz is back. We're the equivalent to this junker. Chill on the car. Y'all could only wish to have a car with some nice upholstery like this. Let's see. Yeah, all the complaining mean Liz is back. So complains Joseph. Mom turned up the radio as Ma emerged onto the highway. The station was familiar. The normal soundtrack from when she had driven you and Liz around town. Liz bounced in her seat, enjoying the classic tune. The song would be old enough to vote at this point if it was a person. That was hard to believe. With Liz, the conversation livened up despite it getting later and later in the night. She told you all about her week and all the travel preparations she made. By the time she made it to the actual tale of travel itself, Liz started chuckling. On the plane, Liz had sat next to a couple of girls who had talked a lot about how well they could read people. Wait, if you sat next to a couple of girls but you were in the middle, what is that? Were the people on your left and right, they knew each other? But they let you sit in the middle and they just talked over you? What are you saying? Liz recounted their conversations with her in hilarious detail, as they had apparently tried to guess her occupation after only shaking her hand. Imagine if that happened to you on a plane. You're like, is that your friend? Would you like to sit next to them? And the other person's just like, no, I'm fine here. No, I prefer to talk over you. I don't want to sit in the middle. Oh my god, I would throw hands. Neither of the girls could agree with one another, and Liz had refused to just tell them. However, the drive to your hotel was only so long. Eventually, your group arrived. You yawned and got out of the car when it stopped. God, I hope Cove is ready for so many piping hot loads when we get to that hotel room. Because, like, usually, you know, I let him ravage me, but, you know, today seems like a day where I want to punish him. I want to make him cry a little. Cove clambered out after you. Liz gave a loud sigh of relief at all the extra space she found herself with. You and Cove grabbed the luggage and then waved off your family after you said your goodbyes. After they left, you and Cove went to go find your room. Where the hell is she staying? Oh my god, if they're letting that bitch stay at the house. They are! I bet her room is clean. I bet her room... As soon as the faggot moves out, they have to fill up his room with all that shit. With all their online Amazon boxes, old boxes and shit. But they left that bitch's room perfectly clean. She can stay there. Ooh! Ooh! I'm upset. Ooh. So upset. You and Cove grabbed the luggage, and I think I already said that. You scanned the keycard to unlock your hotel room. It sounded out a soft beep, and you turned the handle of the door. Those security cards in hotels never work for me. I demagnetize the card when I touch it, and it is so painful trying to open the doors with them. The door creaked open, and then you craned your head in to take a look. The first thing you noticed was the large king-size bed in the middle of the room. It was prim, modern-looking space. That does not look king, it looked queen. Sorry. Y'all don't know your bed sizes. It seemed clean and smelled fairly like floral air freshener. A smile played on Ko's face as he watched you take in the space. The bed's nice, huh? Which one of us is gonna use it? Oh, here we go again. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I want to share, really. Good. Cove let out a breath in relief that he'd been holding on to. I've got a good hotel, didn't I? It's passable. I'd say it's nice. It's the same hotel I would have picked on my own. It makes sense you'd go for this one. Looks like your room at Kyra's place. It's passable. Still think you've been lied to about the bed size. He sighed in a long, suffering way. He was going to put up with so much during this trip. Oh god, he's already getting sick of my shit. You and Cove continued to chat as he's settled in. You unpacked some of your stuff and checked out all of the room's amenities. Cove pointed out the mini fridge and started puzzling over what food could be ordered to the room. However, the fact was you were both exhausted, and it didn't take too many yawns before you both changed into your pajamas and called it a day. You had to hunt along the wall to locate the light switch. When you finally found it, you flicked it off with a sense of triumph. You turned your head over to Cove, who stood behind you in his pajamas. He was cozy and comfortable, but the pieces didn't match. He never minded that. I'm exhausted. We both need our beauty rest. Honey, you don't need any beauty rest, okay? Don't fuck with me, okay? That's not a joke that I'm gonna tolerate. Alright? Just look at me and then look at you, okay? Talking about how we both need our beauty rest. You motherfucking... Ooh! He knows he's better than me. He knows I'm out of his league. He knows. Or rather, he's out of my league. Cove smiled a soft expression that was adorable. Okay, let's go to sleep. As long as sleeping is code for some sort of anal adventure. Despite saying that it was bedtime, Cove took a step forward towards you. He wrapped his arms around your back and you leaned into his embrace. Then he lifted you off your feet. What? Still not putting you down, Cove promptly dropped himself backwards. The both of you crashed onto the tight tucked sheets of the hotel bed. He laughed the entire time. Cove bounced on the landing and absorbed most of the impact. You laid on his chest, feeling a little jostled. Giggled alongside him. You're an absolute madman. You're a madman, lad. No, we're not British. Let's see. Proper cheeky of you. Could have warned me, that was scary. Let's do it again. You felt like a kid who had just ridden a roller coaster and had to get right back in line. That was the kind of thrill you lived for. He stared up to the ceiling, a thought clearly crystallizing. My dad used to do that kind of thing to me when I was little. Sort of. Nostalgia was clear in his voice. It was a fond memory, and you felt something warm in your chest. I remember you talking about it when you stayed over at my house as a kid. He'd lift you up really high and bring you back down. Yeah, I have a cool dad. You made a small noise of understanding that turned into a yawn. When Cove yawned in return, you pulled at the sheets until you were actually under the blankets. Don't let the bed bugs bite sweet dreams. Hold out your tongue. Do you know why pigeons are called pigeons when they're actually doves? I didn't know pigeons are doves? I'm confused. Then what? If pigeons are still pigeons, even if they're doves. Although I don't quite understand. Fine, I don't want to say goodnight to him. Let me stick out my tongue and maybe he'll be freaky and suck on the end of it. Cove snorted and scooted up. Ooh, he's scooting? He's sucking? He's gonna suck? And scooted up so that he was more propped up on his pillows. Then you kissed his lips, his nose, his forehead. Come on, just say cock. I'll kiss his nose. I'll do that. You rolled and propped yourself up on your elbows so that you could give Cove a quick peck on the nose. He beamed back at you, obviously enjoying his goodnight kiss. Cove wrapped his arms around you and snuggled next to you. He let out a contented breath. You reached out to hold Cove under one arm and then used your other hand to comb through his hair. The two of you relaxed into one another, and you knew neither of you would want to be anywhere else. I can't believe we're really here. You and Liz and everyone else are going to be here in Sunset Bird again. I was staring at all the scenery going by while we were driving here, and it honestly felt like we never left. He ran a hand down his face. I mean, in some ways, it feels like it's been ages and everything's different. Some of that is definitely because I'm staying at a hotel instead of being in my room at Dad's, but yeah. It's so weird, feels natural, I don't even know how to feel. It's exciting, I hope things go okay. It's exciting, I'm so excited right now, Cove. Do you understand what I'm saying? Cove nodded, he understood completely, do you? Huh, maybe he does understand. Well, get under these damn blankets, you know? I've already pulled off these damn pants. I'm looking. A yawn forced an interruption to the statement. Cove was undeterred. I'm looking forward to this. He tucked his head into your neck. You felt his lashes flutter close against your skin. Yeah, I can't wait. So, are we officially engaged yet? I'm not sure. Somehow it feels like we are. But I haven't heard anyone like directly say it. Unless, did it say that when I started this step 4? Did it say that we were already engaged? Oh, it did, that's right, I picked that. Okay, I remember now. I'm so stupid. It was literally a choice I picked to be engaged to him. I'll see you tomorrow, Joseph. His words were a whisper you barely heard. It might not even have been that exactly. You might have just been guessing. Cove always had a habit of mumbling, honey, I'll see you as I sleep, okay? There isn't a second I spend without seeing you. And if I do spend a second without seeing you, it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely devastating. It was okay either way, whether you heard it or only thought you heard it. The sentiment was true regardless. Cove would see you tomorrow when he opened his eyes and the sunlight returned to your hometown of Sunset Bird. You comfortably drifted off to sleep and eagerly awaited seeing Cove tomorrow as well. Your eyes gently opened to see a dim, unfamiliar ceiling. You recalled where you were, a hotel room. Yawning, your muscles felt relaxed and warm enough that sleep threatened to pull you under again. Morning. Cove's voice brought you back to consciousness. The heat made sense now. You knew the comfortable weights against you, or the comfortable weight against you was your fiance. His arm was draped around you and his fingers were lightly drawing shapes on your pajamas. You twisted over to face him fully. Morning, sleepyhead. Cove raised an eyebrow. His index finger drew a question mark across your back, pulling a giggle out of you. You knew what I meant? Have you been up long? Wait, what did I mean? You hooked your heel around his calf and trailed up to the space behind his knee. He hummed contentedly. Not too long. Let's see. We want to squeeze him, snuggle him, play with his hair, kiss him, let out a soft breath. I'll snuggle against his chest. That seems good. Pushing into him, you squished your face into his chest. The air knocked from Cove's lungs came out in a light chuckle. Cove closed his eyes. His hands found the middle of your back again, and he held it there, enjoying the closeness of the moment. Neither of you are making any moves to get up and actually start the day. It was sweet and comfortable to be wrapped up in Cove. You could indulge just a little while longer. Eventually, enough time flew by that there weren't really any minutes to spare. There were too many people waiting, so you both crawled out of the sheets together. Standing up, Cove took a few seconds to stretch. He glanced over at you with an animated expression. I am really looking forward to your mom's anniversary dinner tonight. It's gonna be fun. I think so too. This whole trip is great, actually. Being here with everybody is like having another chance at being a kid. We can do all the stuff we used to and all the things we never did but wanted to. The world is our oyster. I don't want to think about being little again. It's good to be back. Why don't you want to think about being little again? Chill out. It was fine. It was cool. Cove was there. And he's been hot for a while. Let's see. It's good to be back. Now the world is our oyster. Jumping up on bed, you stood in a power stance in the center. We run the course of our lives. We're in control of our destinies. Exactly. Well, we better get back to it, huh? We got a pretty full schedule ahead of us for your mom's big day. Why? You smirked. So much for being a kid. So many responsibilities. Why do we have so much ahead of us? I don't get it. It's a vacation, practically. I don't think seeing our friends really counts as responsibilities, Joseph. Yeah. Fine, you got me there. After that, you and Cove moved around each other, busily getting dressed and ready for the day. Light laughter and chatter filled the air the entire time. Bags were packed and phones were sought after. You suddenly tossed Cove his phone, where he hadn't been able to find it. You handed Cove his phone when he had it. It's kind of the same thing. Guess I didn't throw it in the second one. You slapped Cove's butt. Okay. You somehow lost a single sock, but Cove found it. You shook your head at Cove when he ran a hand through his hair instead of brushing it. No, I'll just slap his ass. Cove let out a small yelp. You met his eyes with an impish grin and he shook his head. Careful. His shyness melted away as he put himself inches from you. I might have to do something to return the favor. Oh my god, I'm ripping off my clothes this second. Rape me. Honey, it's all yours, okay? I'm already lubed up. I've been lubed up since last night when you fucking ignored my ass. You raised your hands in a playful surrender. His mouth bent into a pleased smile. Oh, come on. I would have assumed the position. Okay? You would have got a front row seats to my winking asshole. There was nothing else stopping either of you now. In minutes, you were hopping into your ride and heading back to the neighborhood. It was another beautiful summer day in Sunset Bird. You couldn't resist rolling the window down so you could absorb it all during the drive. Cove sat across the seat from you near the opposite window. His gaze was locked outside, catching all of the landmarks the vehicle was passing. Your spirits rose even higher the moment you made it home once more. Eager, you hopped out of the car and let yourself inside. Your moms knew you were going to be there that morning. But the second you made it past the threshold, an excited scream nearly scared you out of your shoes. Wait, who is this? Oh, I'm vaguely remembering this bitch when I was 13, I think, right? Did we even see her when we were 18? Maybe we saw her for like a minute. She was our cousin, right? I vaguely remember her. Vaguely, so vague. Joseph, you're here. And guess what? I'm here too. That's not what I was doing with her voice. I think I was just trying to make her voice sort of prim and proper. Since she kind of looked like that when she was 13 or something. I don't know. While your heart rate settled, a broad grin quickly took over your whole face. I mean, she was looking good, though. Good for her. Since your cousin moved out on her own, you'd noticed that she'd really found her own groove. She was still the same loving person she'd always been on the inside, but she expressed herself in new ways. Lee was strong, kind, and smart. Over the past few years, she graduated college with a degree in history. Though last you heard she was pursuing her dreams, working towards getting into the music industry. Oh, honey. Okay, we have a failing... Cove and I have a failing music store, okay? No bitch has been in to buy a CD in years, but I'm telling you, if you release a hit single, we will put it on the shelves and that'll get people moving, okay? So I'm asking you to work with me, okay? We'll make you a star, sister. Oh god. We're gonna have no money for this wedding, are we? Oh, why did I have to work in music? Oh no. Okay, let's see. Alright, I'll be honest, you look great. Thanks, she beamed, putting her hands on her hips. Lee gave you a once-over. I'm not the only one. Yeah, I think I was doing something more like that. I'm not the only one. True. Must be a family trait. Winking, you threw up a high five. Lee surged forward and slapped your hand. Lee leaned to the side to glance past you and meet Cove's eye. The grin on her face widened while she waved. Hi, Cove. Hey, nice to see you, Lee. I got in practically at dawn. It was a whole thing, but at least I made it here alive. Lee exhaled and slumped her shoulders to emphasize how exhausting the ordeal was. Behind her, Liz made her way over. She crossed her arms at the scene. Alright, she's looking pretty good too. I'm here too, in case you are wondering. Nope. The P popped suddenly, or popped loudly. Pa! Nope! Pa! You watched Liz's narrowing stare at your teasing. The demure smile on her face didn't change. You can't just say hello, nice to see you, or you miss me like a normal sibling, can you? Can't you greet us like a normal person, Lizzie? Jeez, what a tough crowd. Still the same old Joseph. I'm glad you're home. Another friendly shout rang out from the living room, or in the living room. It was as cheery as ever from the many times you heard it over the years. Good morning, family. Your parents both came out from the side hall together. Morning.
Well,
Now that everyone is here, I do have a little something to mention. Ma put her hand lovingly over her wife's. Mom leaned her head into Ma's with a matching affection. We're all still having dinner together, but Pam here actually made plans to take me out to brunch to celebrate our anniversary. Just the two of us. Please, she hooked an arm around Ma's waist.
sorry.
Sorry to push you out, but I'm sure this group of mature grown-ups will be able to entertain themselves for an afternoon. We don't need to find a babysitter or anything. Yeah, have fun, moms. Don't worry about it. Understood. We'll tell you all about our shenanigans at dinner. This works out, actually. An afternoon open means there's no time, or there is time to meet up with Terry and Randy. Hopefully they're free today. I don't like the name Randy. I'm sorry. It's just too, like... Randy is just something I imagine like a dirty hick in like the South would be called. Named. Yuck. Your two friends still lived around the area. They knew you were coming for your mom's party, but when or how you might arrange to see each other wasn't set in stone.
Sounds good.
Definitely, we should call them.
All right.
I have some people I'd like to say hi to as well. Liz had her cell phone in hand, ready to get her plans made before she was even done speaking. Arching an eyebrow, she then directed the next part at Lee. Would you want to come along? We've missed out on a lot of cousin bonding time in the past. Come on, hang out with the gays. I'd love to. It would be an honor to hang out with you, Liz. Bitch. Yeah. Go ahead, hang out with the bitch. We didn't need you. No fair, Lee's meant to go with me. I didn't hear you ask her. Deflating, your sister was right. She beat you to that. It was okay, though. You knew they'd have a fun day, and they deserve some time together. Bring her back in one piece. We have plans tonight. Wait. Somehow I don't like that. Them both saying, I will? I will? Somehow both of them saying at the same time. I just got like sexual undertones from this, and they're cousins. I don't know why. Does anyone else get that from that exchange just then? Excellent, it's settled. She squeezed her wife's hand. Her gaze took in the whole room, ecstatic to have the house full again. Today is going to be perfect. I think so too. I couldn't be happier with my wife, my children, and our whole beautiful family. It's already a wonderful anniversary. There were ahs and sweet comments from the group gathered around the couple of the hour. Seeing how your moms were, you couldn't help but hope that when you got to be their age, you could be as proud of your life as them. But Ma's attention then fell on you, and the look on her face twisted mischievously. A shiver shot down your spine. This is a very good time of year for marriage. Don't you think so? What does that mean? Do they not know that we're engaged? Because, like, honey, let me let a cat out of a bag. With snickers, all eyes eagerly slid over to you and Cove. Shocked at her implication, his cheeks burned red. There was no missing the meaning in Ma's words. She was clear as a bell and she knew it. His stuttering never quite reached full sentences. It instead turned into silence. Cove's brain was shutting down. Ma had sympathy for him. You don't have to say anything. It's just a little thing to ponder. When are we gonna tell them, Cove? At that, Cove's mouth snapped shut. With a stiff nod, he creakily glanced at you. If it was only the two of you here, you got the impression he would have something to say. For now, a meaningful look was all there was. I think it's pretty clear what he wants to say. He's like, should I tell them, honey? Right then, let's get back to what we were doing. After that, you enthusiastically began setting up plans to meet up with your friends. They were both able to come see you, having kept their schedules free for this, and you couldn't wait. Cove was also speedily sending text messages. Since you conveyed the plans to Terry and Randy, you imagined that he was letting his parents know about what he was going to be up to. Now, who the hell is Randy, though? Because I thought Randy was Terry's new name. Because they're trans. So that's the name that they switched to. Who the hell is Terry? Or who the hell is Randy? Isn't Miranda one of them? I cannot recall. I don't know these people. I thought I knew these people. I don't know these people. The group continued to chat and catch up until it was time for your mom's brunch and your big meetup with your friends. Soon enough, everyone was out the door looking forward to their fun-filled afternoons and the dinner later that night. Once on the outside, on the neighborhood street, you looked into Cove. He stood at your side with a bent smile. Terry and Randy were driving into town, while you and Cove were traveling on foot to meet them in an easier-to-reach spot. Man, we really are kids in Sunset Bird again, having to rely on other people who actually have cars to really get anywhere. Now we're stuck walking to whatever is nearby. Why didn't we rent a car? We're reverting back to infancy. Ooh, our life step 0 moment. We're like 8 months old, trying to rizz up Cove. Infancy moment. A snort was followed by true laughter from Cove. Teasingly, you pouted. This isn't funny, Cove. I don't want to be a baby again. I didn't realize we were regressing that seriously. He shrugged and stuck his hands in his pockets. The thought of being little again made you shiver. I couldn't go back to that. I like being me currently. I like the current you too. Let's go. And that is where we shall end this episode here for today, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, and envies. Thank you all for watching. Hope you're enjoying our life as much as I am. Who doesn't love Cove, really? Of course you're enjoying it. I don't have to hope for anything. But yeah, that's the end. Bye-bye.